Everybody wants some blast of magic, 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 magic. Look up the magic you made.
Welcome back. Time for the next all-new Magician 101, the show for all magicians. We have a lot of really great questions this week. The challenge was a success. Everybody who watched this video, I have a feeling, commented, which is great. Thank you guys. I'm excited about that. We got a lot of questions. Let's keep this challenge going for next week. If you watch this video, make sure to think of a question and post it down below because I want more than 5 questions for next week. So we have a lot of questions. All right. First question starts off with Richie Peters, and he says, what are your feelings for some strong levitations? I need some to balance my act. Unfortunately, I can't answer this question because I don't do any levitations in my show. I'm sorry about that. I wish I could give you more help on that. But strong levitations, I'm sure that some of the magicians watching this can help you out with that down below. They could probably post some of their thoughts on that. Okay, your next question though is also on a scale from 1 to 10. How would you rate the 100th monkey? I'm going to give it an 8.5. The reason I give it an 8.5, the price. Though with magic tricks, the price you can't really help. But the price is a little pricey for the magician just starting out. But I do really like the trick. Excuse me for just one moment here as I pull this camera down a little bit. I do really like the trick, but not in every instance will the trick work. It won't work in every situation. So, you're going to have to be kind of careful. 99% of the time it will work. It'll take you 5 seconds to see if the trick will work where you're at. But most of the time it will. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. It's an 8.5 because of the price, which you can't really help. And also the, yeah. Just drew a blank there. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank this morning, filming this thing. Alright, so, and the situation where it worked. Alright, Mr. Tadpole221 has the next question. Congratulations on 700 subscribers. Thank you. He says thank you for the answer. You're welcome. I really like the Carbonaro effect too. Awesome. It's a great show. I recommend watching it. He says, 2 questions. What word do you always misspell? Mine is answer. Also, what is your favorite Paul Harris trick, if you have one? Thank you and keep up the good work. I don't have very many Paul Harris Presents tricks in my collection. I think the only one I have is Envelope, and I really like the Envelope tricks. I have to go with Envelope, where the deck of cards turns into an envelope, and then the card is inside the envelope. Awesome trick. What word do I always misspell? Mongolia. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. I always screw it up on like the second, about halfway through. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and computer. Those are the words I commonly misspell. No, I'm kidding. Well, the words I commonly misspell are because I get the 2 words in the, 2 letters in the middle mixed up. And computer, I can't spell computer for some reason. I can spell laptop, but I can't spell computer. But I can't spell a lot of words because I actually have a little bit of a learning disability when it comes to spelling. My spelling is not up to par. I always had an IP plan. If you don't know what that is, it's like it's like extended time on tests and that kind of thing. And IP plans are different for everybody in school. The reason I shared that little bit of information though is because I had a friend in middle school who would always have to go to the resource center. And he hated that. He just felt like, I'm an idiot for having to go to the resource center, like not being able to take tests in class. And he also like me got extended time on tests, and he hated that about himself. And the reason I share that is because if you have an IP plan or you have to have extra help in school from teachers or like the resource center, it's nothing to be ashamed of. So don't. And I want to share that with you guys. Nothing to be ashamed of. So if you can't spell or you have your maths at like a 4th grade level or whatever, I share that from my personal experience because I actually got tested for when I went to college because they wanted updated paperwork and I found that my spelling's at like a 3rd grade level. That's how my brain is, which is weird. Then my math's like at like a 5th grade level. So I'm not very smart when it comes to math or spelling, but I want to put that out there to you guys. Just if you're watching this, that's kind of like a, pull out your heartstrings kind of thing. That it's not to make you feel bad. If you have trouble in school or you have to go to the resource center, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Wear it proudly, because you may not be, the best at math, but you might be better than some people at science or history or whatever. So if you do have to go to the resource center, it's something that you should be proud of, because you might not be as smart in, like I say, math, but you might be super smart in other areas. So there you go. All right, Elliot. Now I'm gonna probably mispronounce your last name. If I do, I'm sorry. Elliot Clusen. That's good enough. Says, I don't know if this has already been asked, but what got you started in magic, and what magicians inspire you to continue? What got me started in magic, I have no idea. I really don't. I get asked this question so much, and my family can attest to this. If they were right here, they could say yes. When I was like 2 years old, there was a Penn and Teller special on TV. My family could tell you, I sat and I watched the whole thing. And it just escalated from there. I watched all the magic specials when it came on TV. Every time there was, because I grew up in the 90s. That was prime time for magic specials. Like every week there'd be some magician putting out a new special. The world's greatest magic specials would be on TV in the 90s. So I had a lot of magic stimuli growing up. And that seems to be what's happening nowadays too. A lot of magic shows are making their rounds on TV again, like Masters of Illusion, the Carbonaro Effect, Wizard Wars. All these shows, Fool Us, Penn and Teller, seem to be making their rounds back to TV. So a lot of younger magicians now are getting a lot more magic stimuli. So I've always loved to watch magic and go see magic shows and that kind of thing. But what got me started performing was a friend of mine, a neighborhood girl that I know, she was surfing YouTube one day, and she found 2 Bill Malone videos. One was the Sam the Bellhop. The other one, I think it was Cut 'em High and Tie, or it was the Sardini Silks routine. It was one of the Bill Malone effects, and she sent me the link to those. And I watched the Bill Malone Sam the Bellhop video, and in the comments was something about how the trick worked, and I watched it, and I saw how it worked. I said, let me learn this. So I see if I wanted to challenge myself to try to learn the whole routine, all the pattern. I learned the whole pattern, I performed it on my family, and the reactions were like, wow! And it was my family, so, they kind of have to give you the wow reaction. If you're a magician and you do tricks to your mom or your dad, that they're going to have to give you the wow reaction. Even if you flash something super big, they're just like, wow, good job. So I performed it on some family friends and who didn't even know I did magic. So, but they were like, wow. So it just escalated me every time I got that wow to go farther and farther and buy and get more tricks and learn more tricks and that. And also Elliot says, which magician inspire you to continue? There really is not one single magician that inspires me to continue, because I'll see one magician who I've never seen before do a trick and I'm like, that's really cool. Or I'll watch one of my subscribers here on YouTube. One of you guys will do a trick or do a trick that I already have, but have completely different pattern, or I'll see you do something live to a spectator or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, this is why I love magic, And so it's not just one magician that inspires me to continue, it's all of them. Because I'll do some of the Penguin Live lectures, like I did the Bill Malone one, and I'm like, this is why I love magic, watching his. And I did the Tomas one back during the summer, and I'm just like, yeah, this is so cool. All right, so that's his answers. And Amber Tyler, good to see you on the show. You're a new face. Good to see you. He says, may already have been asked, but what is your favorite part about magic? The spectator's reaction, your first time watching the trick yourself, learning it, and its secret, or something else? And you got it. Denmark gray elephants. So good. I'm glad I got that. All right. So first, my favorite part of magic, everything. But I have to say the one thing is the wow. I just talked about it. It's the wow. Getting the wow from the spectator. Watching them get mystified is awesome. I did magic at my work last weekend because we were having a big ornament event at our work for the Christmas ornaments. And I did the pool ball trick. the dirty pool, and I made the pool ball appear. And she was watching me, and she loved it. I did first I did to her, this lady, the David Blaine 2-card Monty thing off his TV special, and then I did the dirty pool. She loved the 2-card Monty thing. I mean, she was blown away when I said, "Turn them over," and they were both aces. She was like, "What?" And then I did the dirty pool, made the pool ball appear, and she was just like, "I'm done," and she walked away. She couldn't handle it anymore. So and I just sat there. I stood there for like 5 minutes. I was just like, "This is why I love Magic," because she was blown away, and I love that. But also, watching a trick, not even for the first time, but watching a trick that I know how it's done, and seeing somebody else perform it even better than I do, with really awesome patter, is amazing. That's also what I love. But I think I love the reaction more when I really blow somebody away. All right, Wayne Carter says, "Great trick." I'm assuming he's talking about the gray elephant in Denmark. I was thinking of gray elephants in Denmark. I should read a little further before I react to some of these things. He says, "I would love to see you perform Restored Credit on Magical Monday sometime." Yes, good luck with that, because I broke my Restored Credit. It's broken and I can't fix it. So I gotta buy another one. So whenever I decide to pony up the money for another one, I'll get it. It's not a trick I do a lot, so I haven't had the need to really replace it, but when I do, I'll show it to you. I actually think it's on my, YouTube channel. If you want to go back and search, I think it's on the 365-Day Magic Challenge. You can go look for it. But I will do it when I ever buy a new one. He says, "My question this week is, do you think of Shoo It by Mark Southworth and Mark Mason is a trick that suits your style?" Unfortunately not. I don't think that's one that I like. So, I looked at the demo and I was like, no. A lot of the Mark Mason stuff, though, I gotta tell you, I add to my show. Crosswords is in there. There was another one, too. The Thought of the Card trick, where it was all those little cards, you think of one, and I can't remember the name of that one. But I do have, but a lot of the Mark Mason stuff does go right into my routine, and I really do like it. So, I didn't really like, Shoo It. I didn't think that was a good trick. Alright. I didn't think it was a good trick for me. Let me rephrase that, because it was a good trick probably for people who could make that work in their show. Jason Ramsland has the next question. What items are on your magic wish list? My magic wish list. Lots of stuff. There is one trick that I saw a magician do just a couple weeks ago. I've talked about this before, which now I have to tell you some sad news, but there's these magicians, 4 of them in my area, who produce this show called the Comedy and Magic Society. And it's once a month. They get together and they bring in some magicians from all across the country and also locally who perform. The 4 producers are Barry Wood, Bob Sheets. You might know Bob Sheets. He's really big in children's magic. Mark Phillips and Brian Curry are the 4 who are the producers. And there was this magician, he works actually, I can't remember his name, I wish I had his name in front of me, but I don't. He works actually in Disney, on the Disney Channel and on Disneyland, in Disneyland. He's, on Disney Channel, he works on that show 365. But he did a trick where it's, and you can see it on, Vanishing Ink. A lot of magic sites are getting it in now. It's a trick where you hold up these cue cards, and it's sort of like the silent treatment trick, but done in cue card form. And you have somebody think of a card, and then at the end of the trick, there's like a little, it says your card's inside this envelope. There's like a little envelope taped to this giant cue card. You open it up, pull out the card, and it's their thought of card inside this little brown envelope on the last cue card. It's really a cool trick. Justin Willman did that on the Jay Leno show once. It's on there. If you want to go look up Jay Leno, Justin Willman magic, you can see it. It's one of the tricks where he does a giant cue card effect. That's a really good one. That's on my magic wish list, but that's $230, I think it was $236 for that trick, so it was kind of pricey. Another thing on my magic wish list is the Houdini chain shackle escape. I want to get that one to add, because I like doing escape stuff. The rigged escape stuff, I should say, because I've never tried to get out of a real straitjacket that isn't gimmicked. What else is on there? A couple of the Tenyo 2015 items are on my magic wish list. One of them is the butterfly effect, where you have somebody think of a butterfly and then there's this little box. You shake it and their color butterfly appears inside. Another trick that I really want is Volcano Dice by Joker Magic. That's one where you have this like giant die, you put a tube over it, and it turns into small little ones. So a lot of stuff on my Magic wish list. I know there's more on there. I put a lot on my Christmas list, so I'll see how much I get for Christmas. But yeah, I don't have the Christmas list on this computer, so I can't do it. I can't tell you exactly what's on it. And the final question comes from Jacob Thornstrand. I'm sure I said that wrong. Sorry. He says, do you do any coin magic? And if you do, which is your favorite coin trick? I don't do very much money magic because I'm not very good at the sleight of hand for money magic. But the one trick I love doing, and I do seem to do this a lot, is Barry Taylor's Ultimate Penny Routine. I've done that for the 365-day Magic Challenge. Go look that up. It's a great little coin effect. And you have to probably message Barry Taylor like on Facebook or something because the Barry's Magic Shop's not around anymore. But he could probably get you a copy of that because it's a really fun trick to do. All right. That's a long Magician 101 this week because we have a lot of questions. Let's get at least 5 questions next week. Post them down below, and I'll see you next Wednesday for another all-new Magician 101.
If you'd like to see more awesome content, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. New videos are posted every day of the week. Also, check out my website and register so you can post in the forums. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, like me on Facebook, add me to your Google Plus circles, and check out my merchandise store to pick up some awesome swag. 444RR, game shows, magic, and more.